Welcome back to the Comic Book ASM Artist. Today we're doing another comic book haul video. And I'm really excited about this week's one. For a lot of the other items I got that I'm going to show off with you all. Real quick, I wanted to remind everyone to subscribe if you have not. We're so close to 1,000, and once I am confirmed as holding that 1,000 subscribers, we're going to do our nice big signed comic lot giveaway. From when I go to cons every year, I get a bunch of books signed, so look forward to that. First off, we have Batman number 77. This is the Clayton Crane variant, and I think this might be the first time he's ever drawn Batman, at least that I can think of. And I did already read this story because a lot of the comic news sites were talking about basically something important happens in this issue, so rather than have that spoiled, I decided to read it online so that I wouldn't be spoiled again, because it's happened a few times. It's one of the drawbacks of having your finger on the pulse of the comic community. Sometimes you get things spoiled, so. And I gotta say, I wasn't really crazy about the way this book turned out either, but I don't know, it's kind of hard to say what's really gonna stick after this run or not. And then I got the normal cover as well. Yeah, all the sequences that show Bruce and Selina together are by Tony S. Daniel, and all of the scenes that take place in Gotham are done by Mikel Janin. Just had to make sure, because you all know how I like to show you all the different art styles if I can. Next I got At Leviathan number 3. But I guess they're still trying to figure out who Leviathan is. But I thought in the previous issue that they were already more or less revealing that it was the Red Hood, so I don't know. But it's definitely interesting, and it's in the vein of the detective gritty type stuff that Bendis and Maleev are famous for. Next we have Detective Comics number 1009. This is the Brian Hitch variant, I believe. Nice brooding Batman here. He's all bloodied up. Yeah, Detective Comics really seems to be the book displaying how I would consider Batman to behave and interact with Gotham and everything. I think it is the a superior book story-wise right now on the market. If you ask me between Detective and Batman, which one is better? I do like the art a lot in the regular Batman ongoing, but I don't care for where that story is headed, really. Next, I got Yosagi Yojimbo number 3. And this is issue 3 out of 5 for this arc. This guy pretty much sucks the souls out of people to make himself younger. And then somehow he uses them for his traveling puppet show that he does. And then in the first issue, this guy was actually blind, so as he goes on, he's getting younger and regaining his sight and everything like that. So I haven't read a lot of Yosagi Yojimbo in the past. I've just known him from his brief run-ins with the Ninja Turtles and stuff, but I figured since he was starting a brand new series, I would check it out. Next I got Invaders, number 8. And so this book continues to do the thing where they show the flashback art is Butch Geist, and then they have another guy for the modern stuff. And I've always enjoyed the history between the original Invaders. So they did a line about a couple years ago too that was really good with Steve Pug, I believe. I don't know how to pronounce anyone's name. Pugh, maybe it's Poog, or I don't know. But I recommend that one too. It had a very Kirby type feel to a lot of the art. Next, I got the Black Mask special for Year of the Villain. And I really don't know what to expect with this. I just know that he is a Batman villain. So, since I collect Batman, just figured I would pick this up too. And I don't know if this is an origin story or something of that nature. It certainly seems that way. And I don't know a ton about Black Mask either. I just know little bits from like the Arkham games and the Under the Red Hood movie and stuff like that. So I am interested to read more about the character. I know his mask is made from the wood of someone's casket, if I remember correctly. And I got Nightwing number 63. And I've really been enjoying these covers here. I guess they're by Warren Liu. He's continuing to do his identity crisis thing where he's known as Rick instead of Dick Grayson. And there's a whole bunch of Nightwings. And this is him here. I'm curious when he's gonna go back. And then this arc introduces the Court of Owls again. And if you don't all know already, there was a period where he was actually supposed to become one of the Talons for the Court of Owls. And finally, for my recent haul here, I got Catwoman number 14, mainly and solely for this variant cover here. Nice nod to the Batman animated Catwoman by Art Germ. I don't know what's going on with the main book at all, but that's the reason why I picked this one up. Yeah, it looks like it doesn't even have a Joe Jones doing the art on here either. Let's see. Here's our artist here, Mirka and Dolfo. So I don't know if this is guest artists here or if this is who they're doing the book ongoing with currently. But I know she was on it for a while. But really happy I got this cover, as I had forgotten about it even when I had pre-ordered it. Forgot about this one too, since I had it off to the side. The Superman Year 1 by Frank Miller number 2. And at this point, Superman is joining the armed forces here. I believe I read he's supposed to become a Navy SEAL. But I can't remember. And this is done by Ramita Jr. And yeah, it's kind of a 50-50 split. Either you love him or you hate him. And I've read enough stories by Ramita Jr. that I still really enjoy him. So, I know a lot of people don't care for him though, but it's okay. I think my favorite was probably his run on Amazing Spider-Man. Then I went to Half Price Books and I got a couple random books. And I actually read this last night before I went to bed. This is an old Superman 57. And this was a special too. It was 48 pages. So it has like all of the Superman talent at the time that this had come out. And if I'm not mistaken, the end of the Man of Steel #1 had just launched previous to this. And that's where I think this story picks up at the end of that. Maybe he showed up. I can't remember. I do remember that, there leads in from another book here. Because he had previously, killed someone who was trying to harm a bunch of people. And they mention it here. He burned up. Guy who was gonna bomb the city alive. And so naturally, Superman is upset. Because he took a life. And for those of you that don't know, this is the Eradicator here. But the art styles do switch quite a bit. So the first bit of him is by Dan Jurgen. And then this is John Bogdanov here. I'm blanking on this artist here. I know this is Art T-Bear. And then this goes back to Bogdanov here. I think this is Tom Grummett. But here's all the talent here. So yeah, it was a who's who of the Superman creators at the time. And this was just 50 cents. And I got this too. This issue just takes place 6 issues after this one. This is what I loved back in the day. They would chronologically number aside from the main title, so you could put them in order in your long box in the order they released, which they would go back to that. And I don't remember a lot about the story, and I even didn't recognize the cover or anything. But the main thing prior, Lex Luthor had died. And so here was a nightmare sequence with his skin melting off. I remember that image. But that's really the only thing I remember about this story here. But anytime I see the early 90s Superman books, I always have to get them because that's really the Superman that I grew up with. That and the John Byrne Superman I really enjoy. Yeah, I did not expect to find the Men in Black #2. It's not in great shape, but this is what the movies were based on. But there's not a whole lot of similarities, and I've even watched a couple videos on it. But I was pleased that this opening couple pages here harkens back to the scene in the first movie when the farmer gets killed and his skin gets used for the alien. So, other than that, that's really the only similarity between it and the other one that I can see at the surface here. But I know, like, Will Smith's character isn't in this series or anything like that. Just a couple of white guys in FBI suits. Or technically they're still Men in Black, but you know what I mean. But I look forward to checking this out for sure. And I found these on clearance too, the Flight series. There's, I want to say 8 of these total, but they're just kind of a sampling of a bunch of like different artistic talent with different styles, and everything isn't all superhero stories. You know, it's just people who love telling stories with sequential art. So it's just kind of a nice little anthology to have here. And this shows all the talent on the back here. And I might do some readings of these just because it's something different. And then they had the volume 2 was also on clearance. I got this for $3. And it's a lot bigger than the other one too. But yeah, once again, it's just a bunch of different stories here. And you get to see a lot of great talent from the industry. And this is everyone who's in this book here. What's fun here is when I look at the price point of the books, this one was $20 originally, and this one was $25, and it's like twice, if not 3 times bigger than this book here. And then finally my shop had that just said free at the counter. And these are all water damaged wizards, which was like the premier comic magazine back in the day. And this is from the very start of it. This is the first, I want to say, 24 issues at least, with some other ones mixed in. And I will be doing videos in the future with these two, just because they're nice little time capsules and everything. So I don't know if I'll do like some sound accompaniment where it's like eating chips and flipping through a wizard magazine or something like that. But I am glad I have these, even if they're damaged, because like I said, it's just a nice little way to revisit the past. And then there's doubles of this one. I did make the mistake though. I walked like half an hour with this box, so wasn't expecting it to be that heavy. But when you walk for half an hour with the box, it definitely gets a little difficult. So, and then there was a coverless Fantastic Four Kirby book in there as well. show you a brief thing here. So yeah, it would have like the prices of what the value of certain books and cards and stuff was. And then you would just get like this one has a spotlight on Todd McFarlane, so there's a very early Todd there. So yeah, there is, like I said, water damage here. And I'm not storing these by my regular books, but it is fun just to have them. And then like the later ones got more involved, obviously, where it's all glossy paper. The back was always the price guides. This is an old Cyber Frog ad there. Ren and Stimpy. And then they would like do photos with random dialogue on them and stuff. And they would spotlight different creators at the time. And a lot of the fun of it is seeing the creators when they were younger, you know. Alex Ross there. Mike Allred. I've met most of these guys too. There's Joe Quesada. There's Todd again. His baseball hat. And then they would have like drawing tutorials and stuff in them too. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Alright, well that's gonna do it for now. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. And like I said, we're so close to 1,000. Please get us there so we can be considered a monetizable channel by YouTube standards. And I hope we can start doing bigger and better things. And check out my previous video if you haven't. It was about an encounter I had with a comic book artist for a school assignment when I was 14. Put a lot of energy into that one, and I think it just has 100 views. So check that out if you haven't. Thanks so much. You all have a super slumber. Bye.